Hi Sleeveless friends, this week we are doing a haul slash unboxing, and the reason why I'm calling that is because everything's already unboxed. Today I am doing a Goodwill BlueBox, another one. Yep, I managed to get my hands on some more because I just am really interested in seeing what you can get, and the best way to know that is to source one for yourself. And this one is the Y2K box. Now if you're not familiar, their Y2K box, or streetwear box as they call it, are all items from 2000s on, and you get streetwear inspired clothing. So tees and pullovers mostly, and they are mixed genres including TV, sports, movies, pop culture, skate brands, and more. So as I've been having some success with tees as well as vintage, I thought it was worth it to give it a try. So if you want to know what came in my Goodwill Y2K Streetwear Blue Box, just keep on watching. Hi Sleeveless friends, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Heather and I am a part-time reseller on both Poshmark and eBay, and I use this YouTube channel to document my journey. So if you're interested in thrifty content, thrift hauls, unboxings from places like Goodwill, BlueBox, and ThredUp, and even a few thrifty flips thrown in, then you will definitely want to go ahead, hit that subscribe button, and do not forget to ring the bell so that you're notified every time I upload a new video. So to get a better idea, because they have so many different boxes, I started going to my fellow reseller YouTubes and watching some content to see what maybe box I should try next. Now this streetwear box is no joke because it's $49.99 plus shipping, so it is a decent price point. Maybe not the first box I would get if I was starting out and really being extra resourceful with my money, but because I have some money to spend and I've been doing this for a little while, I thought it would be worth it to try, because when I saw some resellers unboxings, I was really loving the 2000 vintage vibes feel of what I was getting and what I was seeing them get in their box. So let me give you the nitty-gritty first. As I said, they call it the Y2K Streetwear box. You get mostly t-shirts and pullovers, and they're considering anything from 2000s on, so it could still just be from 2 years ago, last year, this year. And they are including pop culture things like sports, TV, movies, skate, all of that kind of stuff. Now, as I said, the box is $49.99. and I had to pay $5 for shipping. This box shipped from Lake Worth, Florida, and it cost me $5 in shipping. So the total cost of this box was $54.99. So I am hoping to make a return because I am a cheap sourcer, and this would be more on the high end of what I source, which I know for a bunch of you guys, if you're sourcing from places like B&G and the like, you're worried about spending 50 bucks, and I am, because I am a binge shopper and I could come out of the store with 2 cartloads for 50 bucks. So I'm really hoping that I get some good, that some of the stuff moves. I bought the box on 11/22 and it arrived on 11/28, so you still have some really super quick shipping with that. So I love that. So in this box, Goodwill tells you that you will get 22 pieces. I actually ended up getting 22 pieces, but you'll see why, because they threw some shit in on the top that, to be honest with you, is going right back to them. Now, of the 22 pieces, I actually am keeping 16 of them. So I have to be honest with you, I was pretty disappointed when I opened this box. I'm actually kind of glad that I didn't film it, because I do have this, that I do anticipate that this box is going to make some money, but I was pretty disappointed. I was expecting more. I don't know exactly what I was expecting, but some of it just seemed like cheap t-shirts to me. A lot of it seemed like the t-shirts that I got in the DIY ThredUp t-shirt box that were at a lower price point than I paid for these. I think I was just expecting more of the stereotypical vintage pop culture stuff than I got. Having said that, I do predict I will make a return on this box. As I said, of the items that I kept, the 16 items that I kept, given that this box was $54.99, we are talking about $3.44 an item. That to me is regular Goodwill price, and that to me, a lot of these things I wouldn't have sourced at that price. Having said that, most of the items in this box are in the I'm expecting to get at least $14 to $19 for. Now, a lot of these items I'm going to start up at a high price point because they appear to be vintage and there appears to be some value, a market value out there for some of them. And I'll go into more detail with you on those when I show them to you. But I'm also being realistic to know that I may not get anywhere more than $14 for some of these, and that will just be the way that it is. But I'm going to try for the high, and I'm going to be very descriptive in my listing to let them know why I have the price at what the price is at, especially by denoting when things are vintage, because there is a huge vintage t-shirt market out there. You know, if you are a reseller, there are a crap ton of resellers online that are telling you all about the money they make on vintage t-shirts. This is not my market. I am more of a vintage clothing gal, more than a vintage t-shirt gal. So this is kind of my first foray into trying this, so we shall see. Let's go ahead and get right into what we got, and I'm going to show you the things I will not be selling first. As I said, they send you 20 items. I got 22, and this is the shit that they threw on top, which are 2 vintage VHS tapes, which is not listed at all as to what they sell, so I know that they're trying to get rid of these. And again, if you're in this market, because again, I know there are several people that are in vintage VHS market, vintage CD market, all of that stuff, vintage book market. I am not. This is not my foray. This is not fun to me. And also, I do not have VHS recorder to even check to see if these are functioning and working. Having said that, being me, I did look up to see what they were worth, because if they were worth some ridiculous price, I'm sure somebody I know has a VHS player that could test these out, but we're talking about selling these on Amazon in the $5 to $10 range, if that. I'm not into it. I don't see the value in it. Even if you're trying to be hipster ironic, I'm still not sure that you would actually pick this up, so I'm not going to waste my time with it. I'm just going to give it back to Goodwill. It is a big extra 2X large t-shirt. It's just a jersey, so it's homemade printed, and it is I can't read the actual name, but it is a prison ministry t-shirt. Just not my bag, not my thing. Just moving on, giving back to Goodwill, moving on. This shirt, I do not think it's going to get me more than $14 or $19. I have sold a couple of Disney pieces before. I am going to just throw it in my tie-dye pile because I got another pile going, and I just want to see what it will turn out looking like. And then these 2 were 2 that I was planning on keeping, but then when I noticed when I was photographing and actually had them under the ring light that there are some flaws on them, and therefore I didn't want to sell them. This is kind of a cool Adidas sleeveless muscle shirt, and the reason why I'm not keeping it, which I'm not sure if you'll be able to see on camera, but there are some faint spots all over it, so not keeping. And this one is a great shirt. It is a skatewear brand Element, but it does have various stains all over, which actually wouldn't be a big deal to denote, but there are fading bleach markings all over. Now these are the ones I'm keeping. This is just a Nike tee. It's written right on here, so we know it's a current style. I got a lot of sports things, and that may be why I am so nervous about this box, because I am not a sports person. I don't know anything about the sports. And to me, it's very, very hard to research these things. So I'm not really sure if it's going to move. I have had some collegiate Nike stuff move for me in the past. So we'll just see. It's a Texas baseball tee. This again, it's just these t-shirt brands are going to be just your t-shirt brands. You know what I mean? That everybody prints their tees on. If I remember correct, this is Minnesota State. Again, if any sports people are watching, this is going to be atrocious and painful for you because I know nothing about any of this stuff. Has the cool graphic on the back. Now, this is one that I'm pretty excited about. I already have it listed online. I've already gotten a lowball offer. This is an item that I listed high, and I believe, I'm trying to see if I can find it real quick, that I started it out at something I consider kind of stupid, which is $39. And the reason why I did that is because you can definitely tell that it's vintage when you look at it. It does not have the label in it anymore, and it does not have the care label. This looks like a New York City tourist tee. Really kind of cool graphic with the skyline there and the big sun. But as you can see, it does have the Twin Towers in it, so we know it's probably a 90s tee. And it is a super, I would guess extra large 2X. This would be a great repurposed tee. This would be a great t-shirt dress. I just figured I'd start it higher as I know that it is vintage, and I know that there's a lot of people who love NYC vintage memorabilia. This is a cute tee with the chest stripe that goes across onto the arm. It is a Yankees tee. Again, there is no tag in it. These men love to cut their tags out, which is probably why everything went to tagless. No care tag, no tag in it, but it is a Yankees tee, and it is an Adidas Yankees tee. I saw so many of these sweatshirts when I was growing up in the 90s in high school. I have no doubt in my mind that this is probably a 90s sweatshirt. Again, searching sports stuff is extremely difficult for me. I cannot find this exact screen print. It does have a printing company on it. I cannot date it. I cannot do anything to date this item. But given the tag, I am assuming it's early 2000s, maybe even 90s. It is an FSU Seminole sweatshirt. And these do have a really decent resale value. This one does have some flaws, which is another reason that makes me think that it may be older. It's quite worn, almost hole in it on the sleeves. And there are various pen marks all on both of the sleeves. This is something that I'm starting out at a higher price point because there does seem to be some resale value there, and again, it'll give me some wiggle room to negotiate on. But I'm gonna start it out at $49, which to me seems crazy, but based on what I'm seeing out there, could happen. It's happened already with some other folks. More of the sports. Illinois chest print, screen print that goes down the arm as well. This is made in the USA, so I'm assuming it might be a little bit older, closer to the 2000 range. I'm not really sure. Box is gonna be a mystery. If you guys don't already, you definitely want to hit that subscribe button so that when I do an update on this box, because it's gonna be an eye-opener for me for sure, and maybe for you if you are similar to me and have no idea about any of this stuff. This is just a Fruit of the Loom tee, and it is Texas Proud. I figured I'd give this one a try, as I believe it's a XXL. It's a pretty larger size. Now, this is another t-shirt that I saw all over the place growing up. This is what I would consider a high school tee for me growing up in the 90s in Florida. It is Ron John Surf Shop. It's in pretty great condition. There's just a little minute amount, I don't know if you could see, just a little bit of flecks of discoloration on it that I've denoted. Great print with the hibiscus, and I'm not sure if you could see it in there, but there is a glitter in it. This is another just current NFL Nike collab, and it is for Dallas Cowboys. And there it does have the Nike logo on the sleeve. It's just so funny to me because out of the person who knows nothing about sports in a box that's supposed to have TV, which I know way too much about, movies, know a lot about, pop culture, feeling pretty confident, skate brands, even have more knowledge of that than sports, and my box comes with all sports. This is NFL. And it is a Giants, New York Giants women's tee. And this is a band tee, and I'm guessing that this is one of those, if you know them, it's so obvious, and if you don't, oh my gosh. This is like searching for the brand A New Day at Target. You know how they write their brand A New Day, and so many people don't know what it means and they read it this way, which is the mistake I made when I first saw it. This is very similar with the listing out here. This is brand new and it is a band. It took me a while to find it. There does seem to be a pretty decent following for this band. And I couldn't find a lot of this exact graphic on there, so I'm kind of hoping that this one will yield a return. This to me is total 2000 vibes. It is Lucky 13. And it is definitely vintage, and you could see from the worn label, and it is made in the USA. This was a popular brand, I remember, in the late 90s, 2000s, and this one is women's small. This is one I'm excited to get and excited to try. I know Hard Rock Cafe t-shirts are out there everywhere. I have a Hard Rock Cafe denim tee, or denim button-down denim blouse that I got in the bins that nobody seems to care about. But what is most interesting to me about this one is it's made in Greece. And the label does look to me to be more vintage, 2000s or even earlier. Nothing brings the hilarious nostalgia of vintage clothing. 2000s club wear, anyone? Waffle knit men's collared short sleeve. This is Playboy. It is an extra, extra large. You also have Playboy branding at the sleeve and the ever popular, oh, let's get you one that's right side up. The ever popular bunny logo on the buttons. And then this is one that I'm kind of deciding if I should just throw it in my tie-dye bin, as I haven't tie-dyed any pullovers and I love to give it a try. It is a poly cotton mix, so I still haven't decided whether I'm going to put it in there or not. It is just, again, we're just talking about a normal t-shirt brand because all these are screen print. All of these are just screen printed. It is like a 2016 Destiny Con, which is some Comic-Con that they had in Tampa. Very interesting box, not really sure what to make of it. As I said, I was extremely disappointed opening it, and I do believe that that's because most of the things that I got were sports related and I have no knowledge of sports. And I could tell that a lot of these things are newer than 2000s, and it does say that they would be 2000s and newer. But because I have a passion for vintage, I was kind of expecting to get more vintage or pop culture things, which just didn't happen for me in this box. Doesn't mean it won't happen for you. It certainly happened for other people. The unboxings that I saw got a lot more pop culture movies and skatewear brands, which is what I was hoping for. Again, not because this stuff won't sell, but mostly because I have a greater knowledge of that, so it would be much easier for me to research. Having researched these things, again, looking through Poshmark sold comps as well as looking at eBay sold comps, I am expecting to make most likely a minimum of $14 to $12 on every piece. There are several pieces in there that I expect to make more. As I said, the FSU sweatshirt looks like it can yield a decent return. The band tee may yield a decent return. The Playboy t-shirt, as well as that vintage New York City skyline shirt. But, you know, you just gotta find the right market for that and the right customer, which may take a little bit of time. So I still don't know what to make of this. I would love, love, love to hear your input below. Have you bought one of these boxes? Is this similar to what you got in your box? Did you get a lot of sports related stuff? Did you get more pop culture stuff? What kind of return do you think you're gonna get on this box? Looking at comps, my overall return, again, I paid $54.99 for it. I'm hoping to make $250, and if any of this stuff actually goes for a higher price, I have the potential to make $450. But again, I am not super confident with that number, even though I've seen some things sell at that price. As somebody who doesn't know a lot about this, I'm not sure if I'll be able to word it right and do everything that needs to be done to ensure that I will get those prices. But I love having goals, and I specifically loved learning new things and having stretch goals. So I am certainly going to try to go for the higher price. But hopefully some of this stuff will move and it'll be a learning lesson for me, and maybe I'll start to learn a little bit more about this stuff, because I do know, as I said before, there is a huge market out there for this kind of product, and there are some resellers that are only selling this. You may be one of them who is like, what the hell is she complaining about? I would love to have that box. And if so, feel free to school me in the comments section below. I would appreciate it, and I'm sure anybody who's coming in to check out this video would appreciate it as well. As always, once I sell through 50% of this box, I will do an updated video that lets you know what the items have been selling for and whether I'm getting anywhere close to those gross projections. Those are gross projections. They do not account for fees. They do not account for shipping discounts. They do not account for that kind of stuff. So you do have to take that into consideration, that the net return will be a little bit lower. If you don't already, you will definitely want to hit that subscribe button. And do not forget to ring that bell, because when you ring that bell, you are notified every time I upload a video, and you'll definitely want to do that so you do not miss out on the update on this video. As always, thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate having each and every one of you here. I appreciate your subscriptions and your comments, and I will see you next week with a new video. Have a fantabulous week. Bye, everybody.